Yo soy latina, yo soy latina. Yo tomo aguardiente y ron, latina. Yo miro fuerte y el sol ardiente pone morena la piel de la nena latina. Ay, prendida siempre danza, con su cintura él colapsa. Qué ricura la esa hembra, su figura me deslumbra. Grita el negro bien mojado, yo me le como hasta el pegao. Yo quiero pa' mí todo eso, mejor me callo y le beso. Pa' la playa yo voy, acogí unos cocos para endulzar la rueda y negro bembo latina. Yo soy latina.
We're here with our guest in the air studio, and you just heard our lead singer on that last song.
Thank you.
Welcome, Cintia.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here and, talk about my music and just reach some people.
Yeah, we're excited to have you because it's a really different style, but where you come from in Colombia has such a wonderful indigenous roots that I hope we can hear a little bit about that. I want to say hi to Carolyn and Rick, who are also here co-hosting with us this morning.
Hello. Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you.
And you can tell us a little bit about that song. You can find it also on Lovo on your YouTube site, is it?
You can find it on lovo.com, like a link where you can purchase a song, or you can find it on Spotify too.
Oh,
Just
cool.
making it easier.
Tell us,
In Bandcamp.
how that song came about.
Yeah, so I just really wanted to write a song that captured like the essence of being a Latin woman, because I'm proud of my heritage. And I just wanted to like have a song that other Latin women could just feel and, hear and feel proud of and dance to, and, just a feel good song. So I just really thought about, the type of like sensuality that is, sometimes associated with a Latin woman, and like the curves and the sun and how your skin gets tan, and going to the beach and getting coconuts to sweeten rice, when you cook, so yeah, just that's how I envisioned the song. And I wanted it to be in a major key, so it's like uplifting and happy, and just had like little guitar sounds that sounded really tropical.
Yeah. So you're writing not only the lyrics, but also composing the song as well?
Yes, I write the music and I have a team of like people that help me arrange it, but I come like with kind of like the skeleton with the chords and how I play in the guitar and my ideas about how I want the lines to go and the melodies to go, and then different people that I work with, like producers and some of my own musician friends help me arrange the song and maybe say, oh, well, how about this is great, but what if you just put the chorus here instead? And then, I'll listen to it and I'll say, yeah, maybe that works. Or I'll say, you know what, that I'm not vibing that. So we all come up with ideas, and then we just kind of just,
So
agree.
You had a full band that you were playing with in Florida. For a while.
And Colombia too.
And Colombia as well. There must have been, how did you learn this style of music? What did you listen to when you were growing up, your first musical experiences?
Oh my God, it's like all over the place, but definitely my first memories of music itself have been like, all the salsa and the parties, all the holidays, all the family getting together to listen to cumbia, to salsa, to, all these Latin American rhythms. And Also, when I was growing up, I became a teenager, and then I, listened to grunge music and punk. So it's like a little bit of that. And then in college, I went to study music, and I actually went to classical singing. So I was trained as a soprano. So it's all like, I mean, growing up, it was a lot of Latin. And then as a teenager, more into the rock, alternative. And then, later on, I was just like, I really want to study the voice itself, because I was amazed at how can these opera singers just sing and cut through a whole orchestra. And I'm like, I want to do that. I want to be able to project my voice like that. And so and I also listen to lots of jazz, and I enjoy that a lot. But so it's a mix of all of that, I think.
And I just wanted our listeners to know that you worked in the Saturn People's Sound Collective up out of Burlington, and recorded and contributed your voice to some of those songs.
Well, that was actually a great experience for me, and it was very random the way that I actually joined the project, because my partner David Pransky is a musician too, and he's working as a Spanish teacher in Cabot School for the Performing Arts. But that first year that he taught, he was actually also assisting Brian Boyce in in that music and orchestra class. So they were putting up a play, and then they were kind of short on singers for the orchestra, for the ensemble. So Brian asked me if I could join his singers for the play just as a support. So I did that, and he's like, oh, I guess he really liked the way I worked. And he's like, oh, would you be interested in being part of this sound collective? And it's like a 24 or 25 piece band. It's huge. And I'm like, oh, I love that, because I love singing with, other voices. So he invited me, and we did that live recording at Tank Studios, and then we done other performances too.
Oh, that's kind of wonderful that you found, some folks to share your music skills with.
Absolutely.
How about let's just take another break and hear a little bit more of that bigger band sound with you as lead singer, which is really wonderful. And we'll be right back with more.
This weekend the clocks are stopping. I'm buying a ticket to live. This weekend my heart is jumping, because love has been speaking to me. Shouted out from heaven to earth, spoke to me through microphone. Unwrap secrets just a few can know. Look to me through microscope. My weekend love is that weekend love that blemishes and vanishes like the foe. At least I got to see bubbles for a while. We all know good stuff is short, that is the style. Shouted out from heaven to earth, spoke to me through microphone. Oh yes, honey, it did. Unwrap secrets, just a few can know. Looked at me through microscope. Yes, he saw me right through. I don't want to close my eyes and see you, only in my dreams breathing. I don't wanna go back inside. I want to get up for at least 2 days. Na, 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 na. Take me away from me tell you he did. Her rock secrets just a few can know. Looked at me through microscope. Ooh. Yes, he saw me right through. I don't want to close my eyes and see you, only in my dreams breathing. No, 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 no. I don't want to go back inside. I don't want to get up for at least 10 days. No, 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 no. Take me away from the machine. Take me away, those jaws aching. Take me away from the machine. Take me away, those jaws aching.
That was
And just so you all know, my name is Cintia Lovo, but my project, it's Lovo, which is, that's the name of the musical project, which is pretty much just La, which is like the, in a way, Lovo, which is my last name. And it's roughly described like the she-wolf. It's almost like that because La is like a feminine pronoun. And Lovo is almost like saying wolf. It's just spelled with one letter. It's different. Instead of the B, it's the V.
Uh-huh.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I feel very identified with the wolf. It's my spirit animal. Like all the howling.
Yeah, excellent.
am I on
Tell
Zoom?
us about the people that are indigenous to Colombia.
Well, we have a lot of different tribes. To the south, we have Amazon, rainforest, and then to the north we have a desert, and then to the west we have other parts where we have most of the Afro-Colombian people. So all of those, and all over the country is full of different, groups. But my exposure is I grew up in the city, and I always saw the indigenous people in the city. They were just, very poor, and they were always like asking for money, and they were just always like the forgotten population in Colombia. So that really marked me because these people are just so kind, and they're so talented. They have their own art that they sell in the streets, and this art is so beautiful. And I just always thought like, wow, like how come every time like I see, indigenous people, that it's like on the streets and not like in a position where they're a little bit, in a better situation. So, it is kind of sad that was the case. And that just really inspired me because they have, like I said, beautiful art, beautiful music. Like our Colombia, it's a country that has so much music. We have so many, like every little region has so many rhythms. Bambuco, we have cumbia, which is like the most known Colombian rhythm. We have, I can't even remember all the names, but definitely, actually, as a kid, I was in an ensemble, in my school ensemble. I had a wonderful music teacher, and he kind of picked the best singers out of like the elementary school, and he made this quintet, and it was 3 girls and 2 boys, and he made it a point that what we had to sing was folkloric music. So he made us just learn a bunch of folkloric music, and I was just always so touched by it because just the way the melody went, it was just something about it is just so touching. And that just really has stayed with me throughout my my career and my music composition, all of those sounds. So yeah, particularly one of the last songs that I wrote for my son, who's 2 years old. It's about the struggles of motherhood, because motherhood is so wonderful, but it's also so hard, and it's okay to coexist. It's okay for the wonderful to also be hard, and it's fine. It's sort of about that. But I was writing it through like a lens of like an indigenous person sitting by the river and just kind of like chanting to the river all of the sorrows, because it's much more difficult to be a mother in that situation where all your resources are much more scarce than are from, you know, somebody in a different situation. Just so they always have less, and so they would probably struggle more. So I was just kind of wrote it as if I was a mother of, you know, coming from that population sitting by the river. So that's how it came. It's called Amapola in Agua. So Amapola, it's a poppy, and so they just use that as a remedy, and then they boil it in water, and then they just kind of like take that to just kind of calm their nerves and just kind of ground themselves a little bit and just keep going.
Did you want to sing a little bit of that song for us?
I can, yeah. It'll be just as a person would sing it by the river, just their voice. So I will sing a little bit of that. Ya el gallo cantó, la amaneció, pensándose adentro, hay un corazón latiendo. Pensándose adentro, hay un corazón latiendo. Ya es la madrugada y el llanto no para. Vaya a preparar amapola en agua. Vaya a preparar amapola en agua para poder seguir, para no sentir cómo pica el bicho para sobrevivir. Como pica el bicho para sobrevivir. No te preocupes, mi amor, yo doy mi vida por ti. Haga viento, lluvia, sol, por ti yo voy a seguir. No te preocupes, mi amor, yo doy mi vida por ti. Haga viento, lluvia, sol, por ti yo voy a seguir. Just a little bit of that.
That was beautiful.
Thank you.
Yes, really beautiful. I love that the theme is about motherhood, because you're there sitting by the river and sitting on Mother Earth. So
Yeah,
you know, it's all connected. And what a beautiful voice you have.
thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing with our listeners. And we hope that you're enjoying it as much as we are here in the Air Studio. The folkloric, you know, in the school growing up.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to compare that to what people are, you know, learning here in New Hampshire and Vermont. Not so much that the indigenous people were here, although we now know, because the archaeologists have published and studied, that the people have lived here for 12,000 years. And there are petroglyphs throughout the state in New Hampshire and Vermont on the rocks, the writing. And so there is a new effort to, at least in Vermont, to recognize indigenous people, and 4 tribes have been recognized by the state of Vermont. And I think the same will happen eventually here in New Hampshire. If Rick wants to say anything more about that.
I feel like a deer in the headlight.
She put you on the spot.
She does. She does that often, and I just kind of go, I don't know what to say about that. This has been a struggle ongoing for quite some time.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, New Hampshire does have a native committee, you know, out of the state, addressing, you know, different native concerns, which is great. There's a lot more work to be done, obviously, but.
And that's where it started in Vermont as well, with a government committee the Commission on Native American Affairs. And it's the same happening here. So we hopefully they'll keep exploring that whole, to give recognition. Right now, because it's been 10 years in Vermont, there's committees that are actually working on curriculum that will be taught in the public schools on Abenaki culture. So that's a really big effort that's been happening.
That's great. I actually had a boy student in one of my classes whose name was from Abenaki, and oh my God, I want to remember his name so badly. It'll come to me, I'll tell you.
Effort to bring into libraries and the schools a curriculum about the Abenaki, but also bring in the books. And there is kind of a flourish happening right now of books that are being published with the Abenaki language.
Oh, nice.
And with traditional stories and versions of the stories, and they're being published. So I think this will help in creating an awareness. I just wanted you to be able to, if you'd like to, for us to play another song on the playlist that's pre-recorded, and maybe come back and play a song with your guitar.
Sure, yeah.
De un sentimiento ella floreció. De la nada esparció sus alas, del capullo se desprendió. Viniste a un mundo con hombres, no te asombres, por favor, no sientas miedo si ves todo al revés, desilusión. Filosofía, la luz del día tuviste. Filosofía, del universo creciste. La razón a veces falla, el corazón puede estallar. Hay una constante batalla entre la mente, mira, y las entrañas. Sí, hay que tener agallas. En esta vida hay murallas, pero no tires la toalla. Si algunas veces tus sentidos te engañan,
is called Filosofia, and it translates to philosophy. And I wrote this for my niece when she was born, and it was just like a word of advice for her. I said, "You're coming from the universe." I'm trying to translate. And then you're growing up in this world, and the main idea is that just always follow your heart, because your mind is gonna try to steer you in all sorts of directions, but what's most important is that you always follow your heart, and to never give up on what you feel is right. So that is in short.
Good auntie advice.
Yes, thank you.
That's great.
Yeah, and I was telling you earlier, this is sort of like two very Colombian rhythms. So the first one, the most obvious one, is cumbia, dong 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 dong. That's a Colombian cumbia. And then the drums have a rhythm called forro chocuano, and that is from a state in Colombia called Chocó, and that is where our Afro-Colombian population comes from. So that it is a rhythm. It is like a combination of two. It's like rock and roll with Afro-Colombian and just indigenous Colombian.
Yeah, you can really feel that. Well, you brought your guitar in. Would you like to share a song with our listeners today?
Yeah, sure.
Called One Tribe, and you listen what it's about. From the same tribe, breathe the same air, laugh with the same smile. So divine, we're both in the same space and time. Present, past, future, when we lock eyes, I can see we're so ever entwined. This is where we are, this is where we'll stay. Perfect precision, infinity rhythm. Happiness pours abundantly through my pores, like a river flowing freely. When I'm close to your body, when I'm deep in your soul. So deep inside your soul. One and one equals creation. Making love is liberation. One and one can make a nation. Striving from a higher vibration. Hear my heart's palpitations. There's hope for this world's salvation. Hey, come together in this equation. It's time for a brand new, healthy generation. A whole different situation for equality. We all are thirsty, can't you see that we are longing for mankind to get along like family, synchronize our energies, have a collective dream to prosper, to grow, be happy, evolve, and finally start children become shine like the sun. One and one equals creation. Making love is liberation. One and one can make a nation. Striving from a higher vibration. Hear my heart's palpitations. There's hope for this world's salvation. Yeah, come together in this equation. It's time for a brand new generation. Oh, so sweet. Yay!
Nice.
Love those words.
Good for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for doing this and letting me share my story. It really means a lot.
Yeah, it's really a beautiful story. And here you end up in Vermont and you continue to share your music. You said you have a band you put together?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I put together a band here with Vermont musicians, and I'm very excited about it. I have Micah Carbonell on the drums. I have Giovanni Rovetto on the bass. Actually, he plays with Ray Vega, a really well-known jazz musician in Vermont. I play with my partner, David Pransky. He plays the mandolin. I also play with the amazing Annie West. She is a saxophone player, and she's doing my background vocals right now. And she's a tremendous Berkeley musician. And yeah, that is and Jonas Van Fleet, and he's on the guitar, amazing musician too. And I'm so fortunate to have found this group that I actually just really connect with. They're all like, really vibing, my songs. So it's wonderful. I'm so lucky.
Yeah. I love that you bring the saxophone, the horn section in. I love that about the style that you do.
Thank you.
And we don't often have that, of course in jazz, of course, but I love the horn section.
Yeah, I think it's just such a powerful thing, and in your face. It's like, okay, I'm listening.
Yeah.
Does your band have a name yet?
Yeah, it's La Lovo.
La Lovo.
Yeah, like I was saying earlier, that is my artistic name.
The wolf.
The wolf, the she-wolf,
Right,
yes.
she-wolf, yes.
It's really, in general, as a musician, it's important for people that want to support the artists to go to their performances. So I want to encourage people to go and see live music. And if a band has merchandise and recorded music that are sold at their events, it's really important for us as musicians. I mean, we put so much work, so much time, and so much money. Independent artists, because I've been approached by people that wanted to maybe invest, but they were like, okay, I'll invest in your music if you change this or that, or if you just do rock or just do pop. And I'm like, but I don't want to do that. I'm an artist, and I want to, it's right. You don't tell a painter what to paint and what colors to use. So why are you trying to tell me that I need to use more of this type of rhythm or of this type of sound? And I'm like, no, I refuse to do that. So yeah, independent artists, we are independent because we don't want to be told how to do our art. Mm-hmm. And in order for us to survive in this world and, just get our art out there, it's really important for us to get support from the people. So yeah, do go to concerts, do buy their merchandise. And there's a wonderful platform which is called Bandcamp, which 100% of the procedures or the sales go to the artist. Just a very minimal fee goes to Bandcamp. Unlike streaming services, which you get 0.0000003 per stream, and it's like my royalty checks are like $30. I'm like, oh, great, I can go have lunch. So it's like, yeah. So please support musicians, our independent artists.
Absolutely.
Bandcamp.
Absolutely. Bandcamp.com.
Yeah, La Lovo / or actually bandcamp.com/La Lovo.
Okay.
Buy my music there.
Okay. Any more questions, Rick?
No, but I want to say, obviously, you are a true artist.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I respect how you approach your music.
Thank you. I try. That's what it's all about.
You're
Just
doing it.
live your truth. I'm actually also a yoga, certified instructor.
Okay.
So it's like, but there's one mantra that really stays with me, and it's called Satnam, and it translates to truth is my name. So I just really, everybody should stay true to themselves and live that truth.
Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
joining us today on Moccasin Tracks. It's truly been an honor to
Yeah,
meet
this
you.
Thank
is
you
great.
so much
And
for
to
having me.
your
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I hope you'll come back again.
Yeah.